explain the technique to you. The technique is very simple. We focus on the emotion that we want to be free from. And it should be a specific emotion for a specific stimulus. And for that I am feeling hurt or upset or fearful or angry about this. And the more specific we can be, the more effective the technique. Okay? And as we focus on that stimulus, that is what has happened or what we're thinking about, and as we focus on that emotion, we are creating the thought field, the energy field of that particular emotion for that particular stimulus. And when we are in that thought field, and that is present in our bodies and minds, then we tap on certain acupuncture points, and that causes the energy to begin to move. That's why it's called energy psychology. And that moving energy decrystallizes that field. So that field is a crystallization. I am crystallized in anger. I am crystallized in fear. You see? That's a structure, an energy structure. There are many other ways to feel and to perceive this event. Okay? So by tapping on these points, as we are focused on that, we decrystallize that and we create a healthy, a harmonious, a more natural way of experiencing it. We remove the charge of the past about this particular situation. Now it could be an emotion, it could be a physical phenomenon, that is, it could be a pain in my neck, my shoulder, my eyes, my abdomen. It could be a desire, that is a desire for a substance of some kind. It could be a physical state based on a sensitivity to a substance. So it could be like my sensitivity to corn or to wheat or to pollen or something like that. And it could be just in an energy state, such as tiredness or anxiety or nervousness. Okay? So we can choose any energy phenomena. Emotions, pain, desire, physical phenomena in relationship to substances, or just an energy state. We focus on that, and as we are focused on that, we tap on specific points. Now, before we tap, what we do is we evaluate the intensity of the phenomena from 0 to 10. And that is called the SUD, subjective units of discomfort or of distress, or of disturbance, whatever you choose to think of it as. Now, 0 means I'm fine, nothing is there. 10 means it's the highest upset that I can experience. Now, there could be higher than 10, but maybe I haven't experienced it yet. Okay? Having evaluated that, then what we do is we correct for psychological reversal. Now, what is psychological reversal? It's the tendency in some people not to want to change for the better. There may be an invested interest or a secondary gain or a form of self-sabotage. Even though we are feeling unhappy, there's a part of us which cannot accept happiness. I remember when I was we were working for about a half an hour, and then we came to the point just to realize that she was afraid to be happy. And she was afraid to be happy because in her childhood, she had sudden traumatic experiences when she was happy. So she learned to identify happiness with impending pain. So better not to be happy, because every time I'm happy, something horrible happens. And we even have that in our language. Someone says, well, everything is going well, knock on wood, you know. This whole idea that if you really say that everything is wonderful, probably something horrible is going to happen. So that's one form of psychological reversal. Another is, I don't deserve something better. I'm not a good girl. I'm not a good boy. I don't deserve to be loved. I don't deserve happiness. I don't deserve health. Okay? That's another form of psychological reversal. Another would be people won't pay attention to me if I'm okay. As long as I'm not okay, I will get their attention. Or I won't be able to control people if I'm happy. I control them by my nagging, by my complaining, by my problems. So there are all kinds, and in my book, show that for a minute. In this book I list for each possible problem a list of possible forms of psychological reversal for that particular problem. Whether it's a relationship problem, or a self-acceptance problem, or a health problem, or a fear, whatever it may be. I give you ideas about what kinds of psychological reversal may exist for that particular problem. That's important to know, because one of the main obstacles towards getting well with any kind of therapy, even if you're receiving a surgery or medicine or massage or whatever it is, or psychotherapy, if the subconscious has a benefit by not getting well, nothing is going to change. Okay? Now, some ways to correct psychological reversal. One simple way for some people is to use the Bach flower remedies, the rescue remedy. That sometimes will help. You would take 4 drops of that just before you do the technique. But because you can't have that with you all the time, we have other ways which are perhaps even more effective. One way is tapping on this karate point here, this point here on the side of the hand, and that helps the energy to change. Now the idea here is that there is actually a polarity change. That is that the positive becomes the negative, and the negative becomes the positive. And that we need to correct that polarity change. And for some reason, they have found that tapping on this point helps to change that, correct it. If your polarity is correct, it will not reverse it to be negative. So don't worry about doing it if you're not reversed. So it will work only if you are reversed. It will correct you. It will not do the opposite. Now, in order to increase the effectiveness of this, we use 2 phrases, which encompass 2 basic ideas about change. The first is, even though I have this problem, that could be even though I fear, even though I'm angry, even though I have this pain in my neck or my eyes, I love and accept myself. This is very important, because the prerequisite for change is the acceptance of the present reality. I need to accept and love myself with my fear, with my anger, with my bitterness, with my pain, with my desires, before I can change. So even if you don't believe it, just say it. And the more emphatically that you can say it, the better. Even though I'm really angry at my child, I love and accept myself. I love and completely love and accept myself. You can change it. You can say, I love him, I profoundly love and accept myself. Anyway, you just have to have the idea of self-acceptance. Okay? And then the other side, other way, I tap on the other side then and say, I choose to be free from this. You see, so I'm accepting myself, but I also choose to be free from this anger towards my child, or this fear of heights, or this pain in my head. Okay. Now, I choose could be expressed differently. I deserve to be free. I accept being free. It's in my benefit to be free. Sometimes I use that about anger with people. I mean, it's in my benefit to be free from this anger, which is only hurting me more than, or this hate.